Hi everyone, my name is Kira Hahn. I'm doing my presentation on Lawrence Kohlberg. A little bit of background information on Lawrence was that he was a famous psychologist. He was born in October of 1927 and he went to college at the University of Boston. He graduated with a degree in psychology and then continued on at Harvard University to pursue his master's, and then he ended up teaching there for a little while, which is kind of cool. He really was interested in the work of Jean Piaget, which I think I'm saying that right. Kohlberg passed away in 1987 at the age of 57, which I thought was extremely young, even though he was pretty young. He still did a lot for psychology in the field, and he really looked up to Jean Piaget and all the work that he did. Some of the things he did while he was studying psychology was he was teaching and he was exploring and learning and researching more and more about what he was interested in, which was moral development. And that looked a little different from Piaget's views, but also was Piaget was very influential to Kohlberg because of all the background research that was done and developed at that time. So there were Jean Piaget had two main stages, and Kohlberg went off of those stages and ended up with 6, possibly a 7th. The ones I'm going to talk about were the 6 stages. So Kohlberg studied developmental psychology, which is how the brain develops, which is something as an educator we need to understand. We need to understand what our students, how they think, what they might think, the different backgrounds and cultures they might be coming from, and then that would ultimately represent their worldview and different things like that. But so he studied the brain, how it developed, and mostly focusing on children, how their development starts at a very young age and then progresses throughout their life. And school really does shape that because teachers play such an influential part in students' lives. So he studied moral development, and then moral development is how you personally view the world and the world, like your personal morals. So how you personally view the world's moral issues. There's a lot of variety in that. Moral development stemmed from Jean Piaget, like I mentioned, and Piaget had the idea that moral reasoning is our determination of moral philosophy. I'm reading my notes at the same time. Kohlberg was very interested and inspired by Piaget's 2 stages, like I mentioned, of moral development, and he stemmed his own ideas off of those 2 stages. Kohlberg developed 6 levels stemming from Piaget's developmental theories, and Kohlberg's level of moral development included, and I'm going to list the 6 stages and talk about those a little bit. The level 1 was that children seek to avoid punishment. Age range could vary from 2 to 6, and that was the first one. The second one is good behavior equals rewards. Ages ranging from 7 to 12. So good behavior, kids who follow the rules in school or at home will equal a reward or instead of a punishment. Children for level 3, children want to please others, therefore they follow the rules and lead. That leads to good behavior. So rule followers, definitely me, I'm a rule follower. The 4th stage, that would be individual behavior can affect society and other people, and that age range is 10 to 15. And then stage 5, individuals feel committed to everyone around them. That's ages around the age of 12. He pinpointed it. And then stage 6, individuals personally beliefs of good versus bad and influenced by moral principles. So it's a lot about good versus bad, what's morally right, what's morally just, and how children react to that, stem off of that, and what their personal beliefs and their personal philosophies are. And I really draw this back to personal worldview, like what you view biblically can really impact what you'll view in the psychology world, and how our students will all react, and where they're coming from, and what kind of life they live or want to live. Piaget's work and also Kohlberg's work is still very influential today, and people really respect these individuals. So I hope you were able to learn something interesting from this, and I'm not the best public speaker, but I hope you all have a great weekend.